Hello and welcome to the Mbikudi kitchen. Hello, I'm Mbiku today and I'll be showing you an amazing recipe. So it's basically a recipe inspired by our very own Moringa soup, and it will be a recipe using a lot of the ingredients, as you can guess. Yes, so we'll be using all of these ingredients that you can see. Obviously we're not going to be using the soup, but this soup is just there just to show you that we'll be making a pancake recipe that will look almost the same as the Moringa recipe. So the pancake consistency will be in between crepes and pancake itself, but will be delicious, absolutely delicious. But without any further ado, we'll be started. So one of the main ingredients in our Moringa soaps are these two over here. So we've got the Moringa powder itself, and then we also have the ground oat. So the ground oat will be used as the base of our ingredients. So we've got the Moringa and this, and so this is what makes this soap one of the best soap that we have in our collection. So without any further ado, we'll get started. So first of all, we'll be using a little pinch of salt that I have prepared. So this is a small pinch of salt that we'll be adding through. And then the second ingredient we're adding is about 2 tablespoons of baking powder. So first of all, in here we've got 2 cups of ground oats. These are oats that we have grounded, and then we've added a pinch of salt. So now we're adding about 2 tablespoons or almost a tablespoon, 2 teaspoons or almost a tablespoon of baking powder. Just put it through. We won't mix it just yet because there's a lot of things to get through. So that's the second ingredient, or the third ingredient. Our fourth ingredient is the very own Moringa powder. So we've got 2 tablespoons of Moringa powder. You can add more or less depending on your taste, but just bear in mind that Moringa has a very strong taste. So if you're making it for children, just bear in mind to add maybe a little bit less or a bit more. So to mix it, I like to use a fork just to kind of like mix everything through, just to make sure everything gets well mixed and nice on. Okay, so for our sweetener, we have coconut sugar. Oops, I just spilled some of the coconut sugar. So we've got coconut sugar over here, and for the coconut sugar, we'll be using just 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar. So that's 1 tablespoon. And then for the second tablespoon, yeah, so we'll make it a full tablespoon of, yeah, that will be it. So 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar. And again, we'll be mixing it through. It's impossible to do any baking without making a mess, but yes. So this is really fun to do as well with children. And as opposed to the ground oat, you can also use regular flour, but I've preferred to use the ground oat just because we want to kind of mimic the same colors as our Moringa soap. So that's that. Okay, so for our liquid, because this is a vegan recipe, we'll be using some almond unsweetened milk. So the almond milk is quite good because it's got some almond, and then it's got a lot of benefit as well, and it's good for the family. So for the almond milk, we've got about 2 cups of almond milk, and that's already pre-measured for us, so we'll just put it through. Okay, so for our last ingredient, so you've got either you can add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, or you can use some raw or some organic grapefruit essential oils. I prefer to go for the essential oils because essential oils are very... Essential oil that we use in our soap is actually lemongrass. So as opposed to putting lemongrass essential oil on this, I'll be putting some, we'll be taking this with some lemongrass tea, and that'll be quite good. So I've put about 20 drops of essential oil in here, just for the flavoring, and we'll be mixing and mixing and mixing. Now, so the grapefruit really gives an amazing smell, and it's just smelling gorgeous right now. I wish you could smell it. Smell this. Look at that. It's a nice consistency as well, and I like the fact that it's got quite a lot of goodness in there, a lot of protein, but it's kind of like having a runny texture. So I'm gonna add a little bit more flour. So I've got kind of like a 1/3 cup of flour that I'll be adding, just so that it's a little bit thicker. And this could be either regular flour or even spelt flour. Spelt flour will be even more amazing. So this kind of like helps to bond everything as well as not making it as runny. Yes, that's perfect. All right, so we're ready to actually start baking our pancakes. So keep on watching and to see how we can bake our pancakes. Perfect, so we've actually done everything. So first of all, I've got everything ready already. It's medium to high, but not really high. I would say I'll start with a medium heat, and then I'll just add a little bit of oil. And as opposed to, as you can see, it was actually warming up already. As opposed to using coconut oil, I kind of prefer to use olive oil, as in it's easier to use. And I want to kind of like turn it around, and I think I'll reduce the fire even more to like a very low heat. And then over there, I've got my lemongrass tea brewing, just so you can see. Yep, I think that's enough for the first one. Moringa is packed with vitamins, and then this is how it's just so amazing. It's full of vitamin, full of flavor, and then it's green as well, so it's quite fun to eat, fun to use, and really good. And it's a superfood as well. So you've got the raw, so we've used raw moringa powder in this, and it's got 14 times more calcium than regular milk. It's got 9 times more iron than spinach, and it also has four times more fiber than oats. So actually we put oats in it, but then this has got 4 times more fiber and 4 times more potassium than bananas as well. Perfect. And we'll make the last one together. Might not be perfect, that's when you start with it gets better. Definitely get better over time. Okay, so this is very yummy, and then this is how much we've got. So now it's time to go and eat them. I'll be doing some more, and then once they're all finished, I'll come and I'll show you. They smell amazing. Wonderful. So this is the finished product of our pancake. So I'll just come close, and this is how they'll look like. Okay, so how do you eat them? So I'll usually go with some peanut butter. So I'll take one pancake, and then here we have our lemongrass tea. I don't know if you can see the lemongrass inside. You see the lemongrass inside? Yes. So we've got some fresh lemongrass from Congo. And then here we go. So we're gonna have some tea. It's been infused for about 10 to 15 minutes, so it's gonna be really lovely. Okay, that's fine. So then, what can you use to eat this? So I like to eat it with some peanut butter. So I've got some peanut butter, and then I'll be using some peanut butter and applying it here. Again, as I said, there's no cooking without any mess. Put it here.